She Boss Talk. I'm so happy to be here. Come on in. As always, hit that love button. Let me know who you are. Drop a comment. As always, put your questions in the comments and I always follow up. I'm here to talk about the do's and don'ts of using idle funds, right? So those of you who have already applied for your EIDL grant and loan and you've been funded and you're asking yourselves and others and you're asking me, what do I do with the funds? Okay. And this is so important that you use the money for what is intended. I'm definitely going to get to the meat of it, but I definitely want to take care of some basics because I'm hearing some crazy stories out there, okay? So if you don't know, this is about the SBA EIDL Loan and Advance Program. If you have not already applied, please do apply before the portal closes. It is open to entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, 1099, gig workers, independent contractors, for-profit, nonprofit businesses. As long as you were in operation January 31st or prior and you have less than 500 employees, you can have 0 employees and apply and get funded and get a free grant, a minimum grant of $1,000, because how they're doing it right now is $1,000 per employee. Okay. Understand, for clarification, the grant is free and clear. So once you receive that deposit, and congratulations to all of you all that have followed the process, that have taken action, and you have gotten your deposits. Congratulations to you. That's free and clear. Okay. No strings attached. That's free money for you. The loan, on the other hand, has terms, which the SBA provided to you before you decided to accept the funds. And some of you are still in that holding pattern. You've been approved for the funds, but you have not accepted the funds, okay? And because you're like, what do I do with this money? So that's what I've been asked about these programs. So I want to go over that with you. The basics of it is, for some of you all out there, I'm hearing some terrible stories. And best believe the government does not play about their money, okay? And the American people don't play about their money because these are ultimately tax dollars. So if you are out here using any relief money, federal relief money, or state for that matter, but this particular program, if you're using it for anything other than what is intended, I would tell you to stop right now. Don't even think about it, okay? Don't get yourself in a world of trouble, even up to the point of getting criminally charged and locked up, and because it's happening, okay? And there's no reason to operate with integrity, to falsify information, to pretend you have businesses you don't have. There's no reason to do that. You're not supposed to use funds for personal purposes. This is not money. This is business money. This is to use to help your business in the time where we are in a pandemic, to keep your doors open, right? To keep you operational, to help you to be able to sustain your business. That is why this program exists. It is not for your own personal use. Okay. And I hate that I even have to say this, right? But it's not for your personal use. It's not to get having home improvements, right? Jobs or work done. It's not to buy yourself expensive, fancy jewelry. It's not to take some lavish vacation trip or buy a new car with. This is for your business. Okay. So I wanted to just get that out the way, because you may think, oh, that should be common sense. But there are people out here using this money for in ways that it is not intended, and you can get in trouble for doing that. Okay. So don't do it. Don't think about it, and use it for your business. Okay. So that's the first don't. It's not for personal use. It's for business use. Okay. So I wanted to just go through some additional information on what you can use this money for, the funds for, your EIDL loan money for, okay? That is going to be so important. So I want to bring onto the screen for you some information here. Let me switch myself here. Give me just a second. Let me hide that so you can read it. Okay, so this economic injury disaster loan, which is referred to as EIDL, okay, is for things like working capital to pay ordinary, normal, right, necessary expenses, debts, obligations as a normal part of business, right? As if the business were not impacted by a disaster. Okay. It is not to be used for expansion and growth. That this is not what that is for. It's not for improving the business, growing the business, refinancing any debts, and we'll get into more of that. This is emergency situation to really help you to operate as though a disaster did not happen. Okay. So let's clarify what that means. So I'm going to now hide that off of the screen and bring myself to the front. Let's talk about some of the things that you can spend it on. So like I said, you cannot spend it on expansion of facilities for your business. That those are like fixed assets. If you have a car, if you have a home, you cannot use it for those purposes. You cannot use the EIDL funds for dividends. So paying your any owners or stockholders dividends with this money, that is not what these funds are intended. Two, you cannot use this money for disbursements other than any services that were rendered. So definitely, if you have rendered services, you definitely want to be paid for that. You want to make sure that you're using, I would say cap it at whatever your 2019 payments were. Don't have it be excessive. So it's not ordinary services that you have rendered that you can then pay for. But any disbursements over that is not acceptable under this program. You cannot use this money for any repairs or replacement of physical damages. That seems kind of like weird, right? That if you're in a disaster and there was damage to your facility or your building, you'll be able to use the funds for that. But that is not for what it is intended for. And as I go through this, I always recommend that you follow up with your CPA, with your accountant, to really go through, work with them on the funds that you have, how you're going to allocate them and use them. They can be really helpful for making sure, that you stay in compliance with how you're going to use the money and be able to substantiate what you use the money on if you were ever to be audited. If the SBA or the IRS or any other entity were to come back to you and want to know what did you use the funds for, because they can. And just know that it's a possibility that they will do that. You cannot use this money to refinance any like long-term debts. Okay, so long term is any debts over a year old. So you cannot use these funds to refinance any long-term debts. You can't use it to pay down any installment payments. But one thing is, again, when I showed the description on the screen, is general. But when you break down what are operation expenses, what is capital, working capital, I looked at that to provide you with a better, more clear definition of what they mean and what you can use these items for based on the different people that I've been talking to, what their experiences have been as well. But paying down installments, then, and you could say, well, I was planning on paying off, this loan or this credit card, this business credit card payment before this pandemic happened. You can make an argument for that. That is part of your operating expenses or your working capital. Again, you want to really discuss that, with your accountant. Okay. They're very helpful. A lot of times people don't seek them out, but this is the time when you have this type of money that you definitely want to have an accountant in your corner helping you through the process. You cannot pay for any penalties, make any payments on any part of any federal debt except IRS debt. Okay, so no payments on federal debt, but you can make payments on IRS debt. Okay, you cannot pay any penalties and fines due to non-compliance. So we know that there are a lot of small business owners that are in non-compliance with the law. You could be in non-compliance on various reasons in which the government, right? That could be city, county, state, or federal government. It cites you with penalties and fines, and a lot of times they're very hefty. They can be in the thousands or millions of dollars, and you cannot use the EIDL loan for that. So I know a lot of you, maybe independent contractors, but I work with, and we have individuals or entrepreneurs and small business owners that they vary in what they do and the type of businesses they have. So I want to make sure that I'm addressing it from all fronts. So if you're an independent contractor or solopreneur, that may not apply to you, but there's also small businesses that, they have upward of 500 employees. They make millions of dollars in revenue in their business. And a lot of times they fall out of compliance and they get hefty fines. Okay. You cannot use that for this. Okay. And then you cannot use it for any contractor losses, right? So if you had work for you to do, you hired a contractor, they did shoddy work, you paid them and you took a loss, you cannot use this money, to make yourself whole or as a replacement cost for that. Also, you cannot use this money to relocate, okay? So they don't want a mad exodus of businesses, right? In a disaster area, they want you to stay where you are, right? That helps the economy, that helps the community. So you cannot use this money to relocate your business to another state or to another country or anywhere else. You would have to do that with other finances, just not the EIDL loan. Okay. So no, we won't be contributing to any mass exodus out of the disaster areas. Okay. All right. So next, you cannot use this money for any lost profit. Okay. Any lost profit. So if you have profit loss, this is not money to replace that profit that you lost. It is also you're not able to use it for the same purpose as you're using your PPP money. So, some of you who applied and were funded for EIDL, you can also apply and be funded through PPP. That closes today. They stopped accepting applications yesterday. But if you're funded for PPP and you funded for EIDL, you cannot use the two for the same purpose, right? And we know PPP is the main reason for that program is for payroll, right? To keep people on payroll, right? So you can only use this if you have exhausted your PPP money on payroll, then you can use this. So that's what I'm saying. You have to really be clear in how you're using the money, really track it properly, have separate accounts, know where the money is going, because you cannot pay payroll with EIDL and then pay payroll with PPP at the same time, right? So if you're paying a payroll with PPP, you're using EIDL for other purposes. And I'm going to get to those do's in a minute. But don'ts are so important because people miss this and they're just using money for any and everything. And you can't do that. So again, you cannot use EIDL funds for the same reason you're using PPP and at the same time. Okay. And then you cannot use this fund EIDL money for any investment. So if you're thinking about investing in stock, there's been a lot of talk about investing in purchasing stock, investing in real estate. That is not what this money is for. You can do it. You just can't use this money to do it. Okay. You can't use it for investments. It's to help you get back to the level of doing business that you were at before the disaster happened, all as though it never happened. That is what this money is for. Okay. So let's just talk really quickly about working capital. Working capital is just basically cash on hand, your cash flow, money that you're going to work with to operate your business. So the main thing you want to focus on when you think about what to do with your money, how am I going to use this money? you're going to use it on operating expenses. So what does that mean? There's a lot that you can use it on. You can use it on rent, right? Did you have a rent payment? You have a lease to a building. You can use it for that. You can also use it for equipment, maintenance of equipment, purchasing of equipment, inventory costs. So I know like a lot of businesses, especially restaurants, they lost tons of inventory. Their food is their inventory. So they need to replenish their food, right? If they're going to operate. So equipment, inventory costs, step costs, what that basically means is that's a growth expense, right? For you to be, you're growing. So you're not using it to grow your business or to expand your business, like getting another building or anything like that, but you're using it to help you, to be able to help you move to the next step in your business that on the path that you are already on. And then you can use it on insurance. You can use it on R&D, which is research and development. You can use it on marketing. So I know a lot of my peers, including myself, the plan is to use it on marketing, right? I always say we don't do enough marketing, especially us as women. We need to be out in the forefront, making our services and our products known, getting them in front of our target markets. So you definitely can use this money on marketing services, social marketing, digital marketing, whatever type of a new website, right? So anything that will help you market and promote your business. You can use it on payroll, but what did I just say? You cannot use it if you have PPP money. So if you're paying payroll with PPP, you can't be using EIDL for that. If your PPP is exhausted at that point, then you can use the EIDL funds for that. Okay. And then any insurance payments. So just know you can, if there's more flexibility with EIDL than there is with the Paycheck Protection Program. Okay. Paycheck Protection Program, 60% payroll, 40% non-payroll related. That's how your money is used for PPP. Here, there is no percentage. It's really more flexible. I just went over all of the different operational expenses, costs that you can use your funds for. So I would encourage you to use that money. Just evaluate your business, assess where you are, what your needs, do a needs analysis on your business, and see how the funds can be best utilized during this time to help you sustain your business, to get it back to where it was pre-COVID. Okay. So if you have not applied yet, I encourage you to apply. The links are all in the description on where to apply. If you've applied, you've been denied, you can submit a request for reconsideration. Those links are also in the comment. So if you're denied, that doesn't mean that's the end of it, right? For the grant or for the loan, you can submit a request for reconsideration. But the application portal will not be open for long. They just closed PPP. So if you know any entrepreneurs, self-employed individuals, small business owners, for-profit, nonprofit that have not applied, please do share this video with them. Let them know that there's EIDL money out there, both grant and loan, if they need help with their business. This is helping to save a lot of businesses that really didn't know what they were going to do. They thought they were going to have to close up shop. So we want to save as many businesses as we can. So please do, again, hit that love button. Do subscribe for this channel for updates. I have a ton of grant opportunities on here. I always come on with the latest stimulus updates. There are more stimulus money to come. We're waiting for Congress to pass a new stimulus bill. I encourage you to sign the petition that's also here so that we can all get fully funded through this program. Currently, we're not. We're entitled to the full $10,000 grant, but we have to advocate, right? Our congressional representatives are any representatives we can, the SBA representatives, and let them know what we're entitled to according to the law. They're still not fully funding the loans, right? And there's people that need more money, businesses that need more money in loans as well. to sustain their business, to keep their businesses open. So we need to make sure that we're supporting each other. We're in this together, that we're sharing information, right? And not just holding it for ourselves, but there are other entrepreneurs and business owners that need this information. So I encourage you to do share it as many places as you can with as many people in your network, and then subscribe. Tell them to subscribe. So this has been the latest updates on the EIDL loans. Get your money while the portal is still open. Use your money. So follow what I said, right? I'm not an accountant. Go to your accountant. But use it for your business, not for personal use. You want to make sure you're not going to get in trouble. Okay. As long as you keep it for business, for what the money was intended, you'll be good. Okay. So thank you so much for tuning in. As always, be the boss with amplified impact. Be in good health and stay safe. Have a wonderful